Hello, BookTube. This is Aaron from Aaron Read a Book or Aaron Read a Book. It's nearly summer. Well, it is kind of summer in the UK. We only get a few days, but and that means BookTrek, which is an event we do every year, run by Vin Revenant Reads, where we read Star Trek books. This has a very niche appeal, obviously. I am a fan, and I've been sort of slowly making my way through the original series since last summer, and I'm on series 3 now because I don't watch much TV, but I have sort of seen the original series before when I was a kid, but only in bits, drips and drops. So, and I've seen some of the famous episodes, so it's been interesting going through that. I've not watched all of The Next Generation yet either. I've watched most of it, but not all in order. I'm a big DS9 fan, and I really like the new Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, and I've watched a bit of Lower Decks, and I've watched a bit of Voyager. But the last few years I've been reading the books as well, and I've been really enjoying them. I never thought sort of fan fiction, or whatever you want to call it, would be my cup of tea, but I actually really enjoy it because it takes some of the pressure off of characterization and stuff off the author, and they can just have fun because you already know the characters. That said, I want to go through all my Star Trek books, and just show you them, and even the ones I've read before. So it's sort of a TBR, a very loose TBR, because I'm not going to read all of these, but I do want to read some of them. I'm going to start with my Peter David books because he sadly just passed away a week or two ago, and I've read this in Mzadi last year, which I really enjoyed. It's a really fun Star Trek Next Generation book because it's sort of Riker centric, and Riker's always a fun character to follow, and obviously Troy, and it's got time travel and old Riker and young Riker, other way around, and stuff like that in. But I really enjoyed this, and if you see that's from the City of the Edge Forever, the original series, so it's got a bit of that in it as well, so that's fun as well. But yeah, highly recommend that one if you're a fan. Another Peter David one I've got is New Frontier, which is his this book one in the long series, and it's kind of an alternative history with a new captain. So this is like a TV series that was never made, basically. I've not read this. I think Gareth read this from Book Songs and Other Magic, and I don't think he was that impressed by it, so it's not been jumping out to me. It's only a short one, but maybe I'll give it a try at some point. I know there's quite a lot of fans of that series, so we'll see how it goes. Another couple of Peter David ones that are kind of silly ones, a bit like Mzadi, but involving Q, is Q in Law. So there's Q, obviously, and what's her name? I always forget her name. I've shown this book before and I forgot then. It's Troy's mother, isn't it? Laxana Troy, and she's played by Gene Roddenberry's wife, and she also played number 2 in the pilot, I think, and various other roles in Star Trek. Just throw her in anywhere. That's kind of a classic Star Trek thing where you get actors or actresses playing different roles over the different series and things. But yeah, always an interesting character, Laxana Troy, and Q's always interesting as well. But I've not read any of the Q novels, so we've got this one, and we've also got Q Squared. So it's another one, and that's what's his name? He's from the original series. See, I know who these people are now. I remember last time I did that, I didn't know who it was. Trelane. Matt Trelane. He's in a very good episode of the original series, and he's kind of like a prototype Q in that, where if you know who Q is, you watch that episode, it's like he's got all these insane powers and he can move them around and things and change everything. So he's kind of like a miniature god, and then that obviously must have inspired the concept of Q and Qs in general. And yeah, so maybe there's some connection here where he is a Q, so we'll see. They're the Peter David ones anyway. Next we've got a proper classic one, which is Spock Must Die, which I think is the first adult novel of Star Trek that wasn't those ones that were just telling the episodes over again, which I think were also James Blish. I've not read any James Blish, so I do want to try this one. I don't think it is a great fan favourite, but I couldn't resist buying it. Look at the cover, it's got the double Spock. But yeah, so I know lots of people like James Blish, so that will be good. Next we've got a couple of Steve Donahue favourites, which is The Fate of the Phoenix by Sondra Marshak and Myrna Colbrief. I think Steve, I got these because Steve Donahue always talks about them, and he always says that either this one or this one, The Price of the Phoenix. I think it's The Fate of the Phoenix is his favourite, is his favourite Star Trek novel, but he also says that sort of it's not technically a good book, it's just silly and he likes them. But I love the covers on these. Both of these are great covers, so again I couldn't resist them. I like last year I found this vintage seller who just had a bunch of Star Trek novels for £1 on there, so I just got all of these for £1 each. And next we've got another Spock one, but it's Barbara Hamley, Ishmael, and this is in really good condition, this one. I don't really know anything about it, but it looks to be a sort of back to Earth time travel one, because he's at sort of some sort of craps table, I think, and he's gambling. He's obviously disguised as a human, and I bought this one because Barbara Hamley, I like her fantasy books. I've read one of her I can't remember what it's called now, Dragon's Bane maybe, dragon books, and it was really good. I loved it. So she's another sort of prolific author who wrote loads of fan fiction stuff as well. Next we've got another Barbara Hamley one, and again I bought this one for the cover because it's just amazingly good, which is, what's it called, Ghost Walker, and it's just got a weird thing zapping Captain Kirk's head. How can you not want to read that? That looks amazing. I don't know what it's about. It's about a tranquil, undisturbed planet, home to the Midgewins, a race of people throughout time who have lived in peace with their planet and themselves. They don't look that peaceful. They look like they're zapping his brains. Next we've got another sort of really well regarded Star Trek author who I've not read, and that is My Enemy by Diane Duane. I think that's how you say it. I just think of Dwayne Dibley from Red Dwarf. Again, an interesting cover where you've got a Vulcan there with a little laser, and Kirk with a laser. Who is the Vulcan? Oh, it's a Romulan, sorry. It's Al Raylo. Oh, I can't even say that. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a very hard to pronounce name. This might be backwards. Lastly, my only hardcover Star Trek book, and the first Star Trek book I bought, which is Federation, which is a kind of crossover between Kirk and Picard, obviously, and it's Judith and Garfield Judith and Garfield Reeves Stevens. I can't remember a lot about the plot now, although it sometimes comes back to me when I'm watching episodes. I keep thinking, oh, what is that from? And then I remember it's from this novel. But I did enjoy this one, and it kind of inspired me to go on and start reading more Star Trek books. So this was a Steve Donahue recommendation as well, so well done, Steve. I'm just going to quickly also run through my Kindle books that I've got, because I've got a few of those. I've got 3 Una McCormack ones, and I originally read one called Star Trek Discovery: The Way to the Stars. Now, I haven't really watched Star Trek Discovery. I think I watched about 2 episodes and I did not like it, so I wasn't expecting good things from a Star Trek Discovery novel, but I actually really enjoyed this. I can't remember what it's about now, but I can't remember what the character's name is now, but it's about a young sort of ginger-haired girl, and it sort of follows her through her teenage years and applying to what are they called, the Academy? Star Trek Academy, yeah. My mind just went blank there. But I actually really enjoyed this, so I bought a couple more Una McCormack ones based on the strength of that. The first one was my only Deep Space Nine one, actually, which is weird because Deep Space Nine is, like I said, my favourite series. It's Deep Space Nine: The Never Ending Sacrifice. I again don't know what that one's about, but let me know if you've read it. And then the other one I've got is a quite recent one, which is Star Trek Picard: The Last Best Hope. And I think this was concurrent with the Picard series. Well, I know it was, but I don't know if it covers some of the same plot lines. But I don't think it does. I think it's set before or after. But I have watched quite a bit of Star Trek Picard. I watched the first series, then I just skipped the second series because everyone said it was rubbish, and then I watched the third series, which was a joy. Sort of a flashback to the TNG olden days, and it was very much fan service, but it was fun. So I picked up that one. Another random one I've got is The High Frontier by Christopher L. Bennett. I don't remember why I bought this one. I probably just bought it because it was 99p or something, but I'm not even... Oh, it's an original series one, so that's another one, original series one to add. And then finally, I've got the Star Trek Destiny trilogy by David Mack, and this series I would highly recommend. It's mostly TNG characters, but it's also got Ezra Dax in it as well, and it has it has to be read basically as one novel, this trilogy, but it's about the Borg and the origin of the Borg and stuff, and it has loads of time travel and thousands of years of history and stuff in it. It's really good, and it's almost... I would almost say that you don't even need to be a Star Trek fan to enjoy the Destiny series, because it's set in the Star Trek universe, but it's just a brilliant sci-fi story. So I think any fan of sci-fi would love Destiny. But yeah, those are all my Star Trek books that I've got. I will probably prioritise one of the Peter David ones this summer, just because he died recently, and in his sort of memory. But I would also maybe like to pick up some of the original series ones as well, seeing as I'm just about to finish watching all of the original series. Let me know if you've read any of these, if you like Star Trek. But because I'm sure if you don't like Star Trek books, you won't have watched this video, so it would it would be weird. But yeah, those are all my Star Trek books. what are you reading for BookTrek? Let me know down in the comments. Bye, BookTube.